Welcome, I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. A little later in the program, a one-on-one with Dave Kopel and his new book on Obamacare. But first, if you know a teacher, if you know somebody in public education, bring them to the television right now, or bring them to the podcast on this, because this is information that's useful to them. From our Education Policy Center, here's Ben DeGrow. Ben, nice to have you again.
Good to be with you.
All right, so this is a little segment we do every single year because there's something that teachers ought to know, and not all teachers know this, which is what they can get back in their money. First of all, tell me how this started, how you started doing this little project, and how many years have we been doing this?
This is the 10th year.
10th year.
Time flies. I mean, it is that time of year again where we're not just freezing our tails off, we're not just getting ready for the Christmas season, but December 15th is the date that teachers need to circle on your calendar, because that's the last chance you have to get back money that the CEA's designated for politics.
All right. For people who don't know, if you're a teacher, there's a good chance you're a member of one of the teachers' union or maybe a couple of the associations, and money is pulled out of your paycheck and given to them directly. So in other words, the school payroll system ends up as a collection agency for these unions. You know, in every other association, you actually write out your own check. And one of the reasons the unions love doing that, one, they're guaranteed all this money, but teachers don't really see how much money is being pulled out. And it's the same thing with withholdings and taxes and your insurance that they pull out. You look at what you get as your final pay, and sometimes you forget to look at those other deductions. How much does an average teacher pay in union dues?
Oh, depending on which local association you're in Colorado, it can be anywhere from the low 700s to the low 800s. So you split the difference, say 750, 770, somewhere in there.
For a lot of coin for one association. What do they get for that?
Well, I mean, the CEA does a lot of things. I mean, it provides liability insurance for teachers who are worried about being sued by one of their students, and legal protection, if there's a job action against them. And then there's a lot of, lobbying. And a lot of money goes to political activities. And then there's the direct political contribution called the every member option.
What is the every member option?
Well, the option is that you can get the money back, right?
So the option is not that I can, as a teacher, give more money to the union. The option is, by law, not by the union's choice, I, as a teacher, have a right to get some of that political money back.
Right. So when you're a teacher and you fill out that form, and you only do it once when you first sign up as a member. You don't check the box that says, I want to be a member. Oh, and I also want to give $39 a year to the every member option to fund candidates and political causes. No, it all comes out in one lump sum. And if you know about it, and if you remember it, and you fill out that request before December 15th, then you get that $39 back.
I remember as a kid, I think it was back in the 70s, the federal law changed on mailing things, which was companies used to mail things to people and said, here's the thing, we're sending you a bill. If you don't want the bill, you have to send it back. And it was a great scam that lasted for a while until the Fed said, no. You send somebody something, it's theirs. You should get the payment beforehand. So this is just like that, which is you're paying money to this political action work, and if you want it back, you can ask for it. Let's talk a little bit about the rest of the dues. He said about $750. That's a lot of money over the course of a year, especially when times are tight. I think about the last election we just had, which was Amendment 66, which was a massive tax increase that got trounced 66 to 34. And the unions put in about $4 million of the $10 million that went into it. Where did that money come from the unions? When that money goes into those tax increase elections or candidate elections, where does it come from?
Well, I mean, the vast amount of revenue that's going into the union is coming directly from these automatic deductions from teachers. And in the case of Amendment 66, we saw, as you said, $4 million between the national and the CEA, the state. Teachers, the $750, about $160, $170 goes straight to the national headquarters to pay for all kinds of political activities, not direct contributions to candidates, but all kinds of other political dollars. And then a big chunk, probably twice that large, goes to the state, which includes that $39 every member option.
Talk to me a little bit about insurance before we get to how to get your money back. The insurance, I can understand if you're a teacher in this litigious society, having some liability insurance it's a good thing to have. And so you think about it, and a teacher goes, I don't want to spend $700, $800 a year to be associated with a union, but I need legal protection. I've heard all sorts of different ways of getting that legal protection, including perhaps your homeowner's policy or an umbrella policy or other organizations that have policy. What insurance do you get with the CEA? If you're a teacher, what do you buy? How much liability policy do you get?
So some teachers are going to join the CEA because they really are big believers in the union bargaining and the political agenda, but a lot of teachers join the CEA for this insurance, which is liability insurance to cover those things where students may sue them. But as you said, there are other options available out there. Some school districts actually put out liability insurance for their employees. But then you also have groups, non-union groups like PACE.
What's PACE?
The Professional Association of Colorado Educators. And they for about a quarter of the amount of dues per year, they're going to give you a liability insurance policy that's at least as good as the unions. The same sort of legal protection if you have concerns about your job, and professional development and other things that benefit the teaching profession.
For a quarter of the cost?
For a quarter of the cost.
All right. I'm just doing the math here. If you can privately go to a professional organization and get the same insurance for at least a quarter of the cost, that means the CEA or other unions, since they're buying in such massive quantity when they're insuring, they must be able to do it for a lot less. So if $100 goes to the insurance that out of your $800 and $50 goes to help with negotiations for contracts once every 3 or 5 years, where the hell does the rest of the money go? What do they do with all that money? Are you telling me that no political money is taken out of that chunk? Only that $40 that is the every member option?
Well, certain figures might say, it depends how you define politics. That $39 is going to be the funds that go, the ones they report directly to the Secretary of State that are going to fund your candidates for governor and state legislature and some of these 527 committees that run the nasty ads. And then you got all kinds of money paying for staff at the CEA building, some of them who are active in political work, and you got lobbyists. So there's politics, and then there's more politics.
More politics. All right. If you get this money back, this every member option money back, a teacher can still spend that money any way they want, whether it's to buy Christmas presents or to give directly to a candidate they like. Right now it goes to the union, and the union decides how to dole it out among candidates or tax increase campaigns, right?
Right, so if a teacher goes onto our website, independentteachers.org, we have all the links, all the information there, and you go on from there to the CEA's got the online form, you fill that out. Usually you get your $39 back sometime in January, and the money's yours to keep and spend as you see fit for whatever you want. Pay the credit card bill for Christmas, make a contribution to a charity. I mean, that's all up to you, obviously.
All right, so just so we know, there's a tiny window in order to get this money back. So they take your money all throughout the year, but in order to ask for it back, what's the window of time that teachers and other people in the teachers union can get that money back?
So the union's spending that money on elections all the way up through November, right? But the only chance you have to get it back is you have to do it by December 15th, which is coming up really fast. December 15th is the deadline, not just for the $39 CEA every member option. I should also mention, if you're a teacher in some of the larger school districts, whether it's Denver, Jefferson County, Adams, Pueblo, and a couple others, there's an extra EMO.
Extra member option.
Right, so I fill out a letter to my local union if I want that money back.
How much? Give me an example. So $39 goes to the state union, and you can get that back. And then your local union or association, how much can go there?
In the case of the ones I mentioned, it's another $24. So if you're doing the math really quick, that's up to $63 per teacher.
All right, so there's $63 you can get back if you go online and ask for your money back. If you have an interest in doing so, where do they go for this?
Independentteachers.org. We've compiled all the information in one place, so
it's not hard, right? You go online, you ask for your money back, they send you a check.
Yeah, for CEA, you can go right on and do that that request online. A lot of the local ones you have to do the old-fashioned letter. We have the addresses and all that right up there where you can find it.
And you do it. And how many teachers have taken this option to get their money back? I love that option to get your own money back. How do you have any idea?
You know, the last time we knew, which is probably about 4 or 5 years ago, there were about 1,300 teachers who were asking for these refunds. But the CEA long ago stopped disclosing those names, stopped telling us who was asking for them. So we can't even see how much.
Really? And what about union membership in general on education? I've heard that over the years it is dwindling here in Colorado. Is that true?
Up to like the last 2 to 3 years, partly because of the recession, there were some teachers who were laid off, and teachers who were feeling tight times decided maybe there's a better way to spend their money. What we have seen is a slight drop in both the National Education Association and the CEA membership.
All right, so union membership's going down. People who want to have their money back can at least get this. What if they want to leave the union altogether? Is that a possibility? How easy is that?
Well, it depends which school district you're in. Again, we have that information on our website. You know, teachers have the right in Colorado to decide whether they want to join the union. Getting in a lot of cases, is easier than getting out. So if you're a teacher in Jefferson County, for example, you have between September 1st and September 15th.
You have 2 weeks
to go into the union office and fill out several forms saying, I want out.
You can't just call them up and drop it. You have to go in.
Not so easy. And those dates are different for different districts to make it, well, not so simple.
Not so simple. All right, you put together a little video. You did this a couple years ago, and I just love this video. For those of us who are old and remember, I'm just a Bill, yes, I'm only a Bill. What was that, Schoolhouse Rock? I miss Schoolhouse Rock. Why don't they do that? You did a little play on this, which I think is great. I'll tell you what, let's take a look at this.
Hey, thanks again, Union Dues.
Thanks. Hey, you're welcome.
Who is that?
Oh, it's just some politicians I give money to. You see, I collect automatic dues from lots of teachers' paychecks in Colorado, and I give some of that money to my favorite political causes.
Miss Johnson helped pay for those mean political ads?
That's right. She didn't opt out. She probably doesn't know she can.
Oh, she can get her money back?
Sure. Tell Miss Johnson to check out independentteachers.org. She better hurry, though. The deadline is December 15th.
I'll definitely be her favorite student now.
I miss Schoolhouse Rock. I know the preamble of the Constitution thanks to Schoolhouse Rock.
We love that video. It makes you feel a little nostalgic.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, when you're old. All right, so give us the details. Give us the whole thing we need to know. If you're a school teacher, if you're working for the district and you want to get up to $63 back, you got to do what by the 15th?
If you're that CEA member, you go to our website, independentteachers.org. If you want the $39 CEA refund, we got the link front and center. Fill out a form, takes you a few minutes. If you want that extra $24 from your local, we got the address and a letter you can print off, and it's easy as that, and then the money will be yours in January.
There you go. Couldn't be simpler. Thanks for letting teachers know what their rights are. Hey, stay tuned. You're going to love this one.